So for everyone that's here, the conversation we're having is, what does the modern day woman want? And I was basically saying that open communication is really important. That a lot of the time problems arise because two parties are not on the same page. And I feel like taking the time to have like maybe like a periodic, maybe once a week kind of reflection, tap in to kind of understand how the other person feels can be so important, and it can eradicate so many problems that could occur in the future. But I think a lot of the time people just bottle in how they feel, and they just be like, you know what, don't worry about this thing or don't worry about that thing. And then eventually it becomes a big problem. So I think that's one of the major reasons why relationships kind of mess up. But I'd say for women, they want that communication because it's all about understanding and having that, I guess, that unison between the two of them. I think is really important. I just want to know, what's your point of view on that?
Yeah, I feel like, you know what you just said about tapping in once a week to address the issues. I'm not going in and out now, man.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
But like what you just said is important. I feel like that would be so key. I even feel like, you know, before people get into relationships, they should probably consider therapy. Like they should probably consider just sitting down with each other and having some form of therapy, especially if you're looking for a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
You know, like it's key for there to be adequate, healthy communication. As I was saying, most of communication is non-verbal, right? So if you're considering most of communication is non-verbal, you know, it make more sense to try and meet up a lot more in person to avoid that ambiguity, to avoid certain things being lost in text, or, you know what I'm saying, the tone on the phone, for example. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people really need to go back into the old school ways of trying to communicate, and as you said, sit down with each other, so that there's no resentment. Because what it does over time, if somebody has an issue which they haven't communicated, over time it's going to build up and you're going to end up resenting that person. And it might not be a case of, oh, you know, I can't stand your ass anymore. It might be just like small things like, you know, oh, I don't like the way you just left the plates in the sink. Just small things will just start building up, and that's where things go left. So I feel like nip it in the bud and address those small issues, you know what I'm saying? Like, because they can build into bigger issues as well, manifest into something bigger.
Do you think that, like, because now you've made me think, innit? I was gonna go off what I have on my notes, but you got me tapping into my deeper thoughts. Do you think that, like, with social media, like, because I've always said, innit, like, I was on another podcast with a girl like just 2 days ago, last week, and I was basically saying that the whole dating scene, kind of relationship scene, it's like when you've got stuff like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, Facebook dating, all of this kind of stuff. It's like you're really online shopping. You know what I'm saying? It's no longer dating. You're like online shopping. You say a few words. Some people have their template lines, and then you either meet up with that person or not. Before, it was much harder. So people had to build up their character to kind of talk to women, and they had to have their own kind of drip, kind of source. But now, because it's just like a social media thing and everything's like become almost like commodity or something like that, it's almost as if I think the communication part has gone with it too. So I think that's like people say they're in a good relationship and they just send a few text messages a day or stuff like that. They'll just rather FaceTime, you know, stuff of that nature. So it has me thinking, like, sorry, my bad. Do you think social media has a part to play in how we communicate, or a lack of communication?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because we look at the question, right? What does a woman want? A lot of the time, what a woman wants is a mental connection, an emotional connection. It's very difficult to build that connection. I'm going out, am I? I'm good.
No, you're good.
Well, it's very difficult to build that connection when it's just on social media, because it's a superficial paradigm. You know what I'm saying? It's not authentic. Whilst if the communication is off offline, in person, like actually go outside and meet these women. Don't just be on in DMs, and because it's all artificial, it's all plastic. Do you get me? Like when you actually meet in a person, you can feel their energy, they can feel your energy. It's
Yeah.
authentic, and establish an emotional connection, which is really what women are looking for. They're looking for an actual connection, mentally, emotionally, physically. You want to hit all of their senses, smell,
Mm-hmm.
what they hear, what they taste, what they touch. You can't do that just via social media. You
Mm-hmm.
can't tap into those senses. You can't tap into sort of a woman's primal desires, for example.
Mm, mm, mm,
While
mm.
you're online with the drip and it's all good. You're appealing to her sight, but all the other senses are going out the window.
Yeah,
You can
that's
so
deep.
yeah, so it's really important for us to try and again go back to the old school, like go outside, talk to women. It doesn't even have to be a case of okay, yeah, I'm nervous, I don't want to talk to women,
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious. Like speak to women in general, just like friends, do you know what I'm saying? And you'll
Yeah,
see that you build a certain emotional connection with women of the, do you know what I'm saying, platonic, and then you can transcend that into a romantic pursuit. But the whole DMs, constantly liking, that's all good. But after a while, that's all it is. It's all online. It's all
mm,
superficial. It's all plastic. And you're not really tapping into that woman's emotional needs, sensual needs. Um, so yeah, I think you're only tapping into one side of a woman's desires, and you're
yeah,
and
I agree.
way more complex. She's way more complex than just one element. Do you feel me? So yeah, that's I can communicate.
Yeah, I agree. Can- that was a real deep. That was a real deep take on it. What do you think about this then? Because I was kind of thinking about this point earlier. Is that I think women want this guy Big Scoop or whoever this is making me die of laughter. But a mature man, like I think that something that is really important that I think a lot of guys sleep on is just having the ability to hear a woman out. Like I
Mm.
don't know if you. I think this might be a far stretch in it, but I'm gonna go there in it. But like, did you see the post by Loney when she was saying something like men's hygiene and basically along the lines of like certain men had bad hygiene, and when
Okay.
women tried to check them for it, they kind of got in their feelings about it, and they didn't want to take on advice. But my whole take from that kind of perspective or that kind of tweet that she had was a
Mm.
wider picture of just like just because you're a guy and you're in a relationship, you should still be open to a woman's opinion. You know what I'm saying? Or a woman's perspective or suggestions. Like it's so important. Like simple things like I can't even tell you how many things I've learned from women. Like
Yeah.
some women, like women I spoke to in the past, would be like, when you wear this clothing with this clothing, it doesn't go together. Now
Right.
moving forward, I don't wear my clothing like that no more. Or
Yeah.
you should try this kind of perfume because it smells good. Now
Yeah.
I wear this kind of perfume. Or you look better when you do this haircut. Do
Yeah.
this. You know what I'm saying? And
Definitely
so I think
take to that.
that's a big thing that I think men struggle with. Even
Take to
I
that.
got like even I was thinking this as well because I was reading a book by Charlemagne and
Yeah.
um, he was basically saying that he doesn't mind getting critiqued by a girl even on the sexual level. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's
Well,
certain things that he feels,
that's
huh?
how you
That's
improve,
what
bro.
you. No, but certain man don't want it though. Certain man don't want it though. Certain man will be like, I know what I'm doing. Like this is me. This like I got this thing on lock. Do you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But I think that's a big one. You can definitely learn a lot from women because at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is please them. Do you see what I'm saying? So
That's
if that's what we're trying to do, you
the
have
game.
to listen to the source. You know?
Pleasure. Okay, firstly, in terms of that whole tweet, firstly to the man them, like, and I don't need to say this, like, bro, wash your ass, like, wash your ass, bro. Like, no woman really should be telling you about cleanliness, is the godliness. So no woman should
Yeah,
be checking you on that. But if she does, take it with grace because that's part of like your masculine energy, being able to take criticism. Like
yeah,
men need to tap into that side of their masculine energy to be able to take criticism. Like, women have told me before, like, oh, I like your hair like this, I prefer your hair like that. Try out this skincare routine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this will help you. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm open to it. You
Yeah.
feel me? And when you're even more graceful with it, you're edifying that woman's decision making. You're edifying her decision
Yeah.
making. Women want to feel like they can contribute to a man. That feeds into a woman's spirit.
100.
So if you're repressed and if you're anti, do you know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't want to listen to her. You're literally neglecting that woman's decision making, and on a spiritual level, she's gonna feel like, oh, I can't really contribute to this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
can't contribute to growth. You feel me?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what did I say to you? Remember on Clubhouse when I said the nature of relationship is to relate, right? You're trying to relate to your. If she can't relate to you, that's gonna be a communication. That's going to be a breakdown when it comes to sex. That's going to be a breakdown when it comes to just normal, just being in the house together. Like, you'll be coming home from work and you don't even want to come in the house because you're thinking, rah, she's going to criticize me. She's going to say something. No, you don't even want to come in the house. You're just going to be chilling in your car, sick. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so
And the thing is, it's not like that. I've always said it, like, I played basketball like my whole life, and there was periods of time where people used to get at me, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear from nobody. Nobody criticized me. And it's like, when I did that, I was like, I'm just cutting myself off from the source of, improvement. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think my ability to hear a woman's point of view really came from me just trying to be like that when I wasn't in a relationship, because I feel like most of the characteristics you have outside of a relationship will trickle into how you are when you're in a relationship. But also, when you're in a relationship, it is a good time and place to see the things you're not good at. So if that relationship doesn't work out, you can go back and push that same energy back into your single life and try and improve on it. But I think that's a big thing. Like, in terms of your own improvement, if you can't take advice, like, what are you really doing? Like, you're not living a good and I don't know. You're not living a productive life.
If you can't be with a woman and accept her input, and I wouldn't even call it criticism. I would just call it like what businesses do, like R&D, research and development. Oh, say you're in the bedroom, not to get there, but we'll get there because it's part of a relationship.
Yeah,
not happy
100.
how you're performing sexually, and she's like, okay, I like this because we all like different things. It's like you can't be repressed and anti against what she's saying, because at the end of the day it's to improve the quality, because you're looking for a quality relationship, not just a whatever I say goes. Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's just you by yourself, you know what I'm saying, right? Train on your own. You want to be able to relate. If it's about food you eat, even, oh, I don't like the way, you know what I'm saying, like, you chew so loudly when you eat. Like, check yourself. Maybe you do chew like a pig. Like, you need to check yourself and fix. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you do need to make sure you take 2 showers a day instead of 1 when you lived at home by yourself and nobody smelt you. But now you're living with a woman who really prides herself on hygiene and smells and making sure that you look good, and she's trying to give you advice on fashion, but you never really was cognizant of it. Do you know what I'm saying? But now cognizant things. So it's just like in any situation, she's gonna see things, because remember, a woman is so intuitive. Women are being, so they know when a man is able to elevate, and she can help that man. Because if you give a woman, if you buy some food, she'll make a meal. If you buy a house, she'll make a home. So a woman tap into that, but you have to be masculine enough to be receptive. You need to tap into feminine gifts as well and be receptive to what has to say. You feel me? So I think men just need to really swallow the ego a little, let go of, and you'll see that you'll be able to connect with a woman in so many ways if you just let her decision making, not a decision making, because as a man you should be making decisions as well, but her sometimes taking it in and be like, you know what, that's true, and you'll level up in ways that you couldn't even imagine, for real. Like even me, I know that for sure. Women have told me about, you know, dress sense, fashion, how I can improve workouts, how I can improve in business, how I can improve in academia. Leveled up in different ways. I couldn't do it alone, bro. It had to be that the spiritual woman that did that for me. You feel? So I think, yeah, a woman, what she desires is the ability to, she wants to be able to contribute to a man's improvement as well. On a spiritual level, that's important for a woman. A woman desires that innately. For that too.